Don't forget to turn up your volume.
Echoes in the Teacup, The Executive's Awakening.
Chapter 1. The Crossroads.
Mark Thompson, a high-powered executive in his 40s, is staring blankly at his computer screen. The endless emails, meetings, and business decisions has taken a toll on him. He used to love his job, but now it felt like a never-ending burden. The office was quiet, but Mark's mind was racing with stress and exhaustion. It had been years since Mark felt any joy or fulfillment in his work. The promotion he once dreamed of had turned into a nightmare of constant demands. He was always tired, had frequent headaches, and felt a tightness in his chest that wouldn't go away. One evening, as he was about to leave the office, a colleague named Linda approached him.
Mark, you look awful. You need a break.
Mark forced a smile.
I'll be fine, Linda. Just a rough week.
Linda hesitated, then handed him a small card.
There's a place you should visit. It's called the Whispering Teacup. Trust me, it might help.
Mark glanced at the card, intrigued but skeptical. A tea house? How could that possibly help him? But something in Linda's eyes made him pocket the card and promise to think about it.
Chapter 2. The Teahouse.
The following weekend, Mark found himself standing outside the Whispering Teacup, a tea house hidden in a narrow alley. The entrance was decorated with delicate lanterns, casting a warm glow that seemed to invite him inside. Taking a deep breath, he pushed open the door. The inside was cozy and inviting, with shelves filled with various teas and a few scattered tables. The air smelled wonderfully of brewing tea. An elderly woman with kind eyes and a calm presence approached him.
Welcome to the Whispering Teacup. I'm May. How can I help you today?
Mark hesitated, unsure how to explain his situation.
I'm not really sure. A friend suggested I come here. She said it might help.
May nodded knowingly.
We offer a unique experience here. Each cup of tea allows you to hear a message from your future self. But remember, you must finish your tea before it turns cold.
Mark's eyes shot up in surprise.
A message from my future self? That's hard to believe.
May smiled gently.
Sometimes we need to hear our own wisdom to find our way. Would you like to try?
Curiosity and desperation won out over skepticism. Mark nodded.
Yes, I'll try.
Chapter 3. The Message.
May led Mark to a small table in the corner and placed a beautifully crafted teacup before him. She poured a fragrant tea, the steam rising in delicate curls.
Drink slowly and listen carefully.
She instructed. She also explained the rules.
Sit quietly and focus on the tea. Do not let your mind wander. Keep your hands around the cup to feel its warmth. And most importantly, do not speak or be distracted. The message will only come if you follow these rules.
Mark wrapped his hands around the warm cup and took a tentative sip. As the warmth spread through him, he closed his eyes. At first, there was only silence. Then he heard a voice, his own, but older and wearier.
Mark, it's me, your future self. Listen carefully. The path you're on is draining the life out of you. In just a year, you'll face a serious health crisis if you don't change now. It's not just about your job. It's about your life, your happiness, and the people who love you. Your health is slipping away, and you are missing out on precious moments with your family. The success you're chasing means nothing if you lose yourself in the process. Take this chance to step back, to breathe, and to find what truly matters. Your health, your family, they need you more than any job ever will. Embrace a new path, one that brings you joy and balance. Trust me, it will be the best decision you ever make.
The voice faded as the tea began to cool. Mark's eyes snapped open, heart pounding. The message was clear, stark, and terrifying. Serious problems? The thought sent a shiver down his spine. He finished his tea quickly, as if drinking it would somehow absorb the wisdom of the message.
Chapter 4, The Awakening.
Leaving the tea house, Mark felt a mix of fear and determination. The voice of his future self echoed in his mind. He couldn't ignore it. He wouldn't. Over the next few days, Mark made changes. He scheduled a visit with his doctor, who confirmed his health was indeed at risk. He started exercising, eating healthier, and practicing mindfulness to manage his stress. But the biggest change was at work. Mark approached his boss and explained the situation. He needed to step back to find a balance. Surprisingly, his boss was supportive. They restructured his responsibilities, allowing him more time to focus on his well-being.
Chapter 5, The Transformation.
Months passed and Mark transformed. The tightness in his chest disappeared, replaced by a sense of calm. He reconnected with his family, spending quality time with his wife and children. He discovered hobbies he loved, like painting and hiking, that brought joy and relaxation. One evening, while sitting on the porch with his wife, Mark reflected on his journey.
You know,
He said,
I never would have believed a tea house could change my life. But that message, it saved me.
His wife smiled and squeezed his hand.
I'm just glad you listened.
Chapter 6, The Legacy.
Years later, Mark often returned to the whispering teacup, not because he needed another message, but to thank May and to remind himself of the turning point that saved his life. He became an advocate for work-life balance, speaking at conferences and helping others avoid the mistakes he made. Mark's story inspired many, showing that sometimes the most profound wisdom comes from within. And every time he sipped a cup of tea, he remembered the voice that guided him to a better, healthier, and happy life.